Hello friends, welcome to our channel. It was a stormy night, and the city felt strangely lifeless. The roads were wet, streetlights flickered, and the sound of rain hitting the ground created an eerie silence. Vikram had just finished his late shift at the office, and today he was already running late. Usually, he would catch the last bus home without any trouble, but the heavy rain had delayed everything. As he checked the time, his heart skipped a beat. The last bus was about to leave. Without thinking, he started running through the narrow streets, his breath heavy, his clothes soaked, and his mind filled with urgency. Just as he reached the bus stop, he saw the bus slowly moving forward. With one desperate effort, he ran and managed to climb inside. The moment he entered, something felt off. The bus was completely empty. Not a single passenger was sitting inside. Only the driver was there, silent and still, his face barely visible in the dim light. Vikram found it strange, but he was too tired to question it. He walked to the back and sat near the window, watching the rain slide down the glass. The cool air and rhythmic sound of rain slowly calmed him. His body was exhausted, and within minutes, his eyes closed on their own. But suddenly, he woke up. Something had changed. The silence was gone. When he looked around, his heart nearly stopped. The bus was now full of people. Every seat was occupied. Some passengers were standing, holding the bars. Yet, he had not heard the bus stop even once. No doors opened. No footsteps. No voices. It was as if they had all appeared out of nowhere. Vikram blinked again and again, trying to understand what was happening. He even leaned forward to check the aisle, but everything looked normal, except it wasn't. Trying to ignore the fear rising inside him, he told himself that he must have been too tired and didn't notice when people got in. He leaned back and closed his eyes again. But this time, when he opened them after a few moments, the bus was empty once again. Completely empty. The same silence returned, but now it felt heavier, suffocating. His breathing became faster. His mind started racing. This is not normal, he whispered to himself. Just then, a strong smell of smoke filled the air. It was sharp and sudden. Vikram slowly turned his head and saw an old man sitting right beside him. The seat that had been empty seconds ago now had someone in it. The old man was quietly smoking, staring straight ahead as if he didn't even notice Vikram. His face was wrinkled, his skin pale, and his eyes looked unusually deep and lifeless. Vikram hesitated but finally spoke. "Uncle, when did you get here?" The old man didn't answer immediately. After a few seconds, he slowly turned his head and looked directly into Vikram's eyes. That one look sent a chill down his spine. Then, in a low and calm voice, he said, "This bus is never empty. You just see what it wants you to see." Vikram felt uneasy, but tried to smile. "I think I'm just tired. I saw the bus full, then empty again." The old man let out a faint laugh. "After midnight, this bus does not carry the living alone." Those words echoed in Vikram's mind. He didn't know why, but suddenly the air felt colder. The sound of rain grew louder. The bus lights flickered once. He wanted to ask more questions, but his body felt heavy and his eyes slowly closed again. When he woke up this time, everything was different. The lights were dimmer, the air felt colder, and the silence felt unnatural. Vikram quickly turned to his side. The old man was gone, completely vanished. His heart started pounding. He looked around nervously, and that's when he noticed someone sitting in the seat ahead. A man reading a newspaper. At that hour, in that empty bus, it felt wrong. The man sat completely still, his face hidden behind the paper. Vikram gathered courage and spoke. "Excuse me, who are you?" No reply. The man slowly lowered the newspaper. Vikram's entire body froze. The man's face was covered in blood. One side of his head was crushed, and his eyes looked hollow, like there was no life left in them. It was a face of someone who had died in a terrible accident. Vikram let out a loud scream and shut his eyes tightly. His hands trembled, and his heart raced uncontrollably. Suddenly, he felt a cold hand on his shoulder. He slowly opened his eyes. The same man was now standing beside him, but his face looked normal. No blood, no wounds, just a calm, emotionless smile. Did you see something? The man asked softly. Vikram couldn't speak properly. He nodded slightly. The man leaned closer and whispered, "If you see them, don't stay. This bus never stops for the living." Before Vikram could react, the man turned and walked toward the door. The bus suddenly started speeding up. Then, without any warning, the man jumped out of the moving bus. A loud crashing sound echoed outside. Vikram panicked. This was his only chance. He rushed toward the door, waiting for the bus to slow down. Within seconds, it reached a stop. Without thinking, he jumped out into the rain. He stood there, breathing heavily, watching the bus move away slowly. But then something caught his attention. The bus didn't look normal anymore. It looked burnt, broken, completely damaged, as if it had been destroyed in a terrible accident. The windows were cracked, the body was twisted, and inside, he could see people sitting silently, not moving, not alive. And among them, he saw the old man and the man with the newspaper, both staring directly at him with a slow, terrifying smile. The bus disappeared into the darkness. The next morning, Vikram returned to that stop and asked a nearby shopkeeper about the bus. The man looked at him with fear and said, "That bus crashed years ago on a rainy night. Everyone inside died. Since then, people say it still runs after midnight." Vikram stood frozen because he realized one horrifying truth. Last night, he was never supposed to survive that ride. And even today, when heavy rain falls and the clock crosses midnight, that bus returns. Sometimes empty, sometimes full, waiting for someone who is just trying to go home. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more scary horror stories.